With his status, he should never have spoken such words. But for the sake of the soul armor, he had no choice but to slander the other side. The final step in merging the soul armor required the participation of everyone present, their willpower, their intent. Only when the vast majority of the cultivators here acknowledged him could their thoughts be poured into the heavenly bull soul summoned by their cultivation and blood, allowing him to complete the fusion of the armor. Once the fusion succeeded, everything would change. He would no longer need to care about anyone else's opinion. Elder Wang, I never thought you would stoop this low. With your cultivation, how could you possibly kill a void cataclysm cultivator? You couldn't kill him. That alone is fine. If on the battlefield you chose to hide and avoid risk, that too is understandable. No one would have condemned you for it. Even though here in the third celestial bull lair, many have already become heroic souls. But though they died, their deaths were righteous and honorable. I will not forget them. None of us here will forget them. The heavenly bull continent will not forget them. Put that head away and step down now, and I will act as if nothing happened just now. Otherwise, simply for mocking us with false merit, I will not need to seek the patriarch's permission. I will execute you on the spot. Because your behavior insults not me, but the nearly 10,000 heroic souls who have fallen. You insult every cultivator here. Lü Wenran's voice carried a strange power as he glared at Wang Lin, his words coming out in a low roar. His expression burned with fury, and it was clear he felt Wang Lin's actions were the ultimate insult. He trembled with restrained outrage, like a man in deep grief. The moment his words fell, the uproar stirred by Wang Lin's earlier display of Lü Wenran's head was abruptly smothered. Over 1,000 cultivators fell silent, lost in thought. Many among them now looked at Wang Lin with open disdain and anger. Elder Lü speaks the truth. This man could never have that kind of cultivation. He must have taken the head to pose as the killer. Shameless beyond belief. Indeed, with Elder Lü's status and strength, how could he speak falsely? If he says another struck the killing blow, then it must be so. But something still feels off. If Elder Lü had seen this before, why speak only now? Amid the clamor, only the few void cataclysm cultivators remained calm, their expressions unreadable as they watched Wang Lin and Lü Wenran. Listening to Lü Wenran, Wang Lin merely shook his head. His eyes lingered on Lü Wenran with a faint, mocking smile, utterly unbothered. That look made Lü Wenran's heart suddenly lurch with unease. Yet he reassured himself. His words had been carefully chosen. There was no way the other could produce real proof. Unless he could reveal the essence spirit. But that was impossible. Lü Wenran had not witnessed the death itself, but he had clearly felt Lü Yuan's essence spirit shatter before the end. The man was truly dead, with no essence spirit remaining. I took out his head, and you call me a fraud. Then take a look at this. Wang Lin's eyes gleamed with cold light. Without further words, he lifted his right hand, and beside Lü Yuan's head appeared a second one. This severed head belonged to none other than Su Datsai, the early void cataclysm great venerable of the Green Devil continent. Su Datsai's face was twisted with fear and hatred, his dim eyes still frozen in horror. Dried, brownish blood streaked from all 7 orifices. The moment the head appeared, the entire underground palace fell into a suffocating silence. Every gaze fixed upon it. Even the 3 nearby void cataclysm cultivators abruptly rose from meditation, shocked to their core. It's him. Su Datsai. I fought him in the first battle. His spells were frighteningly fast. Ordinary cultivators of the same stage stood no chance against him. No wonder he didn't appear in the second battle. He was already killed by Elder Wang. The 3 exchanged stunned looks, each seeing the same shock in the other's eyes. Yin Luan's face changed as well. She stood instinctively, staring at Su Datsai's head with disbelief. For Wang Lin to kill even one void cataclysm cultivator was already extraordinary, but now a second lay before them. Su Dongda's heart thundered. For the first time, deep wariness flickered in his eyes as he looked at Wang Lin. His earlier words in Wang Lin's defense had been spoken only because Lü Wenran's performance disgusted him. But now he realized his support had been entirely justified. If even Wang Lin was not qualified, then no one here could be. Off to the side, Elder Zhou's face went ashen. He vividly remembered how, not long ago, he had dismissed Wang Lin and spoken rudely. Now, recalling his arrogance, cold sweat ran down his back. This fiend, he has not one, but two void cataclysm heads. There's no way he merely stumbled upon both after someone else killed them below. Over 1,000 cultivators erupted after a moment of silence, their cries of shock and disbelief far surpassing anything before. In their eyes, the lofty void tribulation cultivators were untouchable, yet now Wang Lin held one of their severed heads in his hand. The sheer visual impact shook their hearts and sent shivers down their spines. You could always say, Wang Lin's calm voice drifted out as he gazed at Lü Wenran, whose expression shifted rapidly, that you personally witnessed a mysterious elder of unfathomable cultivation strike down the first void tribulation cultivator of the Green Devil continent, and I just happened to see it and took the head. And then, while I was patrolling, that same inscrutable elder appeared again, killed a second void tribulation cultivator of the Green Devil continent, and once more, I just happened to see it, and so I took the head again. Lü Wenran's mind roared like crashing waves. His scalp prickled as he stared in horror at Su Ditsai's severed head. Never had he imagined that Wang Lin could slay not one, but two early void tribulation cultivators in succession. Such power was something even he had to treat with utmost caution. What struck him most was that Su Ditsai was no obscure figure. His reputation on the Green Devil continent was immense, and even Lü Wenran had long heard of his terrifyingly fast spellcasting. In fact, during the first battle, when Su Ditsai clashed from afar with Zhang Daozong, Lü Wenran had recognized him immediately. Now, after Wang Lin's words, Lü Wenran's features twisted slightly as he forced himself to speak. I didn't see that unfathomable elder strike, but if he could appear once, he could appear again. As for that head in your hand, well, you were just fortunate, that's all. You. But Su Ditsai's name was cut short by Wang Lin's sudden laughter. As he laughed, Wang Lin raised his left hand. In his palm a ghostly figure emerged, wailing in a piercing shriek. Its face was none other than Su Ditsai's. Lü Wenran, what do you call this? Wang Lin's eyes locked sharply onto him. The instant Lü Wenran saw the apparition, his face went deathly pale. He staggered back a few steps, mouth opening as if to speak, but no words came. Su Ditsai's ghostly form shattered every argument he had tried to make. Fellow Taoist Zhou. Wang Lin's eyes swept across Elder Zhou. How does one proceed with the final step of soul armor fusion? Don't waste time. Elder Zhou trembled, nodding quickly. Lü Wenran was already speechless. Unless he chose to attack Wang Lin outright, the matter was already decided. Fellow Taoists, Elder Zhou spoke cautiously. The final step of merging with the soul armor depends on you. Since your blood and cultivation summoned the heavenly ox soul, the armor must now heed your intent. Whomever the majority of you choose with your will, that is who the soul armor will fuse with. He deliberately avoided naming anyone, so as not to directly offend Lü Wenran. At once the surroundings fell silent. Lü Wenran's head snapped up, killing intent flashing in his eyes as he stared at Wang Lin, weighing the gains and losses. But to give up now? Impossible. Brazen thief. Lü Wenran snarled through gritted teeth, his decision made. You steal another's credit and insult the heroic soul. Such a crime deserves death. He could not, under any circumstances, allow Wang Lin to gain the soul armor. The enmity between them was already deep, laced with killing intent. If Wang Lin received this armor, Lü Wenran would be suppressed instantly. There was nothing left to consider. He was already committed. If he dies, the soul armor will no longer be contested. At worst, I'll fight to win great merit on this battlefield, then return to the sect to accept punishment. The Patriarch will not condemn me to death for killing one man. With a low growl, Lü Wenran's body blurred as he lunged at Wang Lin with astonishing speed. But Wang Lin had long anticipated this. The moment Lü Wenran moved, Wang Lin retreated swiftly. His right hand shot up, and the vortex of his first divine bloodline, born from the swift god art, whirled madly within him, granting him blistering casting speed. At the same time, the soul armor behind him radiated an endless, eerie light. Elder Zhou's words had already prompted the 1,000 cultivators below to reveal their intent, choosing between Lü Wenran and Wang Lin. Fellow cultivators of the extreme heaven grasslands, a gray-haired elder suddenly spoke, his bright eyes fixed on the sky. Elder Wang once saved my life. I ask that you all choose him. Given his standing among the cultivators of the extreme heaven grasslands, his words instantly drew attention. Yin Luan bit her silver teeth, her body flashing as she hurled herself toward Lü Wenran. With her actions, she cast her lot. She would fight alongside Wang Lin, gambling everything on him. Su Dongda hesitated briefly, then also stepped forward. Having spoken once already, his figure flickered, and in an instant he was upon him. Wang Lin, retreating swiftly, stepped back 3 times. At the fall of his 3rd step, his right hand shot upward. With a sudden sweep, the underground palace roared as heaven and earth trembled. 7-colored radiance swirled, and a 7-colored spear took shape. Behind it, a 2nd spear manifested, this one forged from his fire primordial true body. The 2 7-colored spears howled through the air, thrusting straight toward Lü Wenran. At the same time, Wang Lin did not pause for even a breath. He retreated further, his footsteps landing as both hands lifted. The vortex of his divine bloodline within him spun wildly, granting his arms a terrifying burst of speed. At such speed, his cultivation surged like a flood. Just as Su Ditsai had once done, Wang Lin unleashed a relentless storm of divine arts. With a seal formed by his right hand, the soul subjugation seal burst forth. 2 palm imprints, one ahead of the other, thundered toward Lü Wenran. Immediately after, his left hand shifted into another seal. The heavens and earth ignited into a sea of flames as the world-incinerating umbrella materialized. 2 blazing umbrellas, one above and one below, erupted with world-consuming fire. The 7-colored spears were the first to reach Lü Wenran. With a sweep of his wide sleeve, his formidable cultivation erupted with the force of a mid-void tribulation stage expert. The air shook as both spears shattered. Yet the 2 soul subjugation seals surged onward, crashing straight into him. Explosions thundered through the underground palace. Before Lü Wenran could even react, the 2 world-incinerating umbrellas appeared, their annihilating flames sweeping across the land, rushing toward him. His pupils shrank. In that instant, all doubt about Wang Lin having killed Su Ditsai vanished. This terrifying speed of spellcasting, no one but Su Ditsai had ever possessed it. The only way Wang Lin could wield such methods was by killing Su Ditsai and seizing his memories. But this was only the beginning. Far from finished, Wang Lin, sustained by his divine bloodline, stepped back once more, his hands weaving yet another seal. The scene of the underground palace transformed abruptly. A phantom ocean surged into existence, boundless and vast. The world dissolved into endless dark waters. Above, the heavens turned pitch black, save for a single crimson line at the farthest horizon. It was the blazing sun rising. Remnant night. Wang Lin growled, thrusting both arms outward. That crimson line expanded into a blazing red sun. Its light burst forth, rending the eternal night. Opposite it, another burning sun ignited, releasing the twilight force that tore apart the darkness. Then, 2 colossal stone gates emerged, looming upon the ocean. Ancient, desolate power radiated from them, as though time itself flowed through their weight, pressing down on Lü Wenran's spirit. All of this erupted in but an instant. In over 2,000 years of cultivation, Wang Lin had never unleashed so many divine powers within the span of a few breaths. And yet, it was still not the end. As soon as the flow of remnant night and flowing moon was complete, Wang Lin's sleeve whipped through the air. The vortex of his divine bloodline within him spun ever faster. Summon wind and rain. Scatter beams to form soldiers. Mountain collapse and earth split. Dark moon has clear skies. As his sleeve swept, in the sky where 2 blazing suns already hung, 2 shadowed moons now appeared. They cast their eerie glow, enclosing Lü Wenran, surging with the mystical might of the Yin Moon sect. The roars of destruction shook the heavens. Lü Wenran withstood the soul subjugation seal, endured the sea of fire from the world-incinerating umbrellas, and was crushed beneath the twilight force. Time reversal weighed upon him as thunderous echoes erupted. With a furious snarl, his power exploded outward, shattering all of Wang Lin's arts at once. The 2 colossal palm imprints collapsed. The blazing umbrellas shattered into fragments. The phantom ocean, the blazing suns, all crumbled. Finally, even the massive flowing moonstone gates collapsed into ruin. Lü Wenran staggered, his expression feral. His arm was gone, his body riddled with wounds. Forced to endure the storm of Wang Lin's divine arts, he had been driven to unleash every ounce of strength within him. Now, pale-faced and ragged, he lunged straight for Wang Lin. But Wang Lin's furious assault had bought time. Yin Luan and Su Dongda closed in abruptly, rushing to block him. "Out of my way!" Lü Wenran bellowed, his eyes bloodshot with killing intent. As Yin Luan and Su Dongda approached, he flung his sleeve wide and spat out a mouthful of blood. The blood writhed and split, forming two crimson doppelgangers identical to him. They charged toward the pair. He himself, radiating boundless killing intent, ignored his wounds and hurled himself at Wang Lin. "Die for me!" With a roar, Lü Wenran lifted his single arm. He seized the sky of the underground palace as though tearing it open. Suddenly, a colossal nine-toothed wheel materialized in his grip, and with savage force, he brought it crashing down toward Wang Lin. The whistling shriek was deafening, shaking heaven and earth as the nine-bladed gear hurtled toward Wang Lin at terrifying speed. In an instant, it was upon him. His pupils contracted sharply. He had long known how terrifying a mid-void tribulation stage cultivator could be. Yet here in this underground palace, he had no choice but to act. If he didn't disrupt Lü Wenran's plan, once that man obtained the soul armor, his cultivation would soar, and Wang Lin's situation would become perilous. This was his one and only chance to rise in strength. He would not let it slip by. Sometimes, to seize what you want, you must pay the price. You must have unmatched courage. And sometimes, you must gamble everything. Madness flared in Wang Lin's eyes. He dared to gamble, and he had the right to. He carried the triple life art. He had never used it before. Sacrificing one life for a single wager. If he won, he would gain fortune and destiny itself. If he lost, 2 more lives remained, and he could still flee at full speed. As the nine-bladed gear bore down on him, he felt death pressing against his soul. Without hesitation, his hands shot up and clawed fiercely at the void before him. Sky-rending, Wang Lin roared toward the heavens, tearing his arms apart with explosive force. In that instant, the gear collided with his tearing strike. A thunderous boom erupted. Blood sprayed from Wang Lin's mouth as his body was hurled backward. 4 blades of the gear shattered, but the remaining 5, like a death scythe, slashed straight toward him. In a breath, they closed to within less than 3 zhong, spinning with vicious sharpness, ready to carve his body in two. Agony tore through Wang Lin. His forehead felt as though it were splitting his body apart. The spinning blades slammed into him, and at that instant, his flesh exploded into a cloud of blood. Lü Wenran burst into crazed laughter. He had already foreseen Wang Lin's death. In his mind, he savored the image of Wang Lin's body ripped in half, his essence spirit collapsing into a pitiful end. To stand against me, Lü Wenran, you are not qualified. Behind him, Yin Luan and Su Dongda had no chance to intervene. They were entangled by 2 blood-formed clones conjured from Lü Wenran's own essence spirit. Though they would only last a few breaths, he was certain that was more than enough time for him to strike with everything, even at the cost of crippling his cultivation. Die? Once you're dead, the soul armor will be mine, he snarled. Blood spraying, Wang Lin braced his hands against the blades and staggered backward. Lü Wenran's grin widened, his laughter echoing madly through the underground palace. All around, over 1,000 cultivators stared, stunned into silence, horror and dread rising in their hearts. In their eyes, Lü Wenran had become a stranger. He's insane, he's lost his mind. He's killing Elder Wang right before us. He must mean to silence us afterward. He fears nothing. If he seizes the soul armor, he'll slaughter us all and lay the blame on the Green Devil continent. Terror gripped the crowd. Even some who had chosen to side with him now regretted it bitterly. Die, die, die. Lü Wenran's laughter shook the chamber, until it suddenly faltered. His eyes widened in disbelief. Wang Lin's body, though drenched in blood, was not cleaved apart as he had imagined. Instead, amidst the spray of gore came the metallic screech of steel grinding against steel. Wang Lin's powerful flesh was holding firm, revealing its true worth. Above him, a lantern appeared, glowing with gentle firelight. Its radiance wrapped his body, and his torn flesh began mending at a shocking speed. Murderous intent burned in Lü Wenran's gaze. Seeing Wang Lin alive ignited his frenzy. His body flickered forward in great strides. What of a strong body? What of a protective treasure? You'll still die by my hand. With one step, he closed to 50 zhang. With another, less than 10. His hand rose, ready to strike. But at that very moment, from the distance, the heavenly ox soul armor erupted with a blinding black radiance. It scattered, unraveling into countless fine black threads that streaked through the air at lightning speed. They flashed past Lü Wenran, bypassing him entirely, and shot straight into Wang Lin. In the blink of an eye, Wang Lin was engulfed in a storm of black threads. A boundless, indescribable aura erupted from him. The force slammed into Lü Wenran, blasting blood from his lips and hurling him backward, his face twisted in fear and bitter unwillingness. No! The power surging from Wang Lin rose higher and higher. Sweat poured from Lü Wenran's brow. His very soul trembled. His eyes widened with terror and burned with all of this. This power, this aura, should have been his. Everything here should have belonged to him, to Lü Wenran. With a thunderous boom, the gear beneath Wang Lin's palms, surrounded by countless black threads, suddenly cracked, shattering into fragments that spiraled outward. Wang Lin's body writhed as if alive. In the midst of those countless black threads, his form was swiftly woven into a suit of ebon armor. The armor spread over his entire body, sealing his neck and face, leaving only his closed eyes and flowing white hair exposed. Behind him, the phantom of a colossal heavenly bull emerged. Its presence radiated defiance against heaven and earth itself, its eyes closed just like Wang Lin's. Within his body, his cultivation surged at a frenzied pace. With the aid of the heavenly bull soul armor, even if only for a brief moment, he gained benefits beyond imagination. His cultivation instantly disregarded the lack of one origin source and leapt directly to the early profound void stage. In less than a breath, it ascended again, mid-profound void stage. Then, with even greater momentum, his aura roared skyward. His hair fluttered without wind as his cultivation surged to the late profound void stage. And still, it climbed higher. All of this happened in the blink of an eye. Lü Wenran stood dumbfounded, as did Yin Luan, Su Dongda, and the three void tribulation cultivators who had been watching coldly from afar. None had interfered, yet all now wore looks of shock. As for the 1,000 cultivators below, they stood in a daze, staring upward at Wang Lin, witnessing a miracle, the birth of a man clad in the heavenly bull soul armor. He must not be allowed to continue. Lü Wenran roared, his eyes bloodshot as terror filled his heart. He rushed forward, forming seals with one hand and unleashing his full cultivation. His spells crashed down upon Wang Lin. The explosions shook heaven and earth. Blinding lights of Taoist arts tore across the sky, but when they struck Wang Lin, they failed to leave even the slightest mark. Wang Lin did not even open his eyes, allowing Lü Wenran's techniques to strike him unhindered. This armor alone placed Wang Lin in an unassailable position. Even if Lü Wenran self-detonated, he could not wound Wang Lin in the slightest. The more futile it became, the more frenzied Lü Wenran grew. His jealous rage drove him into madness. Spell after spell, strike after strike, yet the result never changed. Take it off? It's mine. Wang Lin, that soul armor belongs to me. You stole it from me. You will die a wretched death. I'll kill you. Kill you. Lü Wenran had already fallen into demonic obsession. With his cultivation, such madness should never have overtaken him. But his expectations had been too high. What should have been within his grasp now dissolved before his very eyes. All his careful preparations had only clothed another in glory. The blow was unbearable. The sudden turn, unacceptable. To him, Wang Lin was the sole culprit. His rage and despair all stemmed from Wang Lin's existence. Yet what the outside world saw was only the surface. None but Wang Lin knew that deep within Lü Wenran's spirit lingered the phantom of a white-robed woman, weeping softly. Since Wang Lin had acted, he had accounted for every possible outcome. The multiple layers of the ghost banner's illusion had long since been planted within Lü Wenran, unnoticed. As Lü Wenran launched his frenzied assault, Wang Lin's aura surged once more. This time, it soared from the peak of the profound void and directly stepped into the realm of profound tribulation. The breakthrough struck Lü Wenran's mind like a hammer, nearly causing him to vomit blood. Eyes crimson, he unleashed spell after spell in a frenzy. I was in the alchemy sea, and so were you. Why was I ordered to flee while you detonated it and gained glory? If it were me, I could have done the same. I was in the third celestial bull layer, just like you. My cultivation is higher, my seniority greater. This soul armor should have been mine. By what right do you steal it from me? Wang Lin still kept his eyes shut, unmoved. Yet his cultivation did not stop. After stepping into profound tribulation, his aura surged again. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, until it transformed 9 times in succession. Without a single true tribulation descending, in absolute safety, Wang Lin's aura rose 9-fold. From the peak of profound void, he strode directly into the realm of the void cataclysm. Early void tribulation stage. At that instant, Wang Lin's eyes snapped open. Behind him, the towering phantom of the heavenly bull also opened its eyes, revealing boundless savagery, earth-shattering defiance, and a madness to annihilate the world itself. Roar! That heavenly bull phantom raised its head and unleashed a roar that shook the underground palace, the earth itself, and the entire extreme heaven grasslands, reverberating across the boundless heavens and earth above. On the surface, 6 mid-void tribulation stage cultivators were fiercely attacking the ground, trying to break open the formation. The instant they heard that roar, their expressions changed drastically. The roar of the heavenly bull. It must be the heavenly bull's roar. Only the heavenly ox of this heavenly bull continent can make my spirit tremble with just a single bellow. I once heard a similar sound, the roar of the green demon. This has to be the heavenly bull. As their faces twisted with alarm, unease surged in their hearts. If even they were so shaken, there was no need to mention the fewer than 2,000 cultivators from the Green Devil continent nearby. Their bodies trembled, fear filled their eyes, and that roar nearly shattered their essence spirits. Within the underground palace, under the echo of that roar, Wang Lin's eyes turned crimson. But this red was not madness. It was the wrathful resentment embedded within the heavenly ox soul armor, the defiance of the heavenly ox itself. You want to kill me? Wang Lin opened his blood-red eyes. They held no emotion, only cold confusion. He lowered his gaze to Lü Wenran, who had already stopped his assault, his face pale as he retreated rapidly. You want to kill me? Wang Lin muttered, as if regaining his memories. He recalled everything that had happened before. Suddenly, his right hand lifted and slashed forward. The heavens rumbled. Wang Lin's right arm transformed into the form of a heavenly ox and charged straight at Lü Wenran. With a thunderous crash, Lü Wenran screamed, his body flung back like a severed kite. Killing intent flashed in Wang Lin's eyes. Clad in that ebon, sinister armor that obscured his face, he stepped forward. In an instant, he appeared directly before Lü Wenran, not with any technique, but with a single devastating kick. As his foot lifted, Wang Lin's right leg suddenly transformed into the horn of a heavenly ox. With an explosive boom, Lü Wenran let out a shrill scream as his body collapsed into a mist of blood. His essence spirit tore free in panic, no longer mad but utterly consumed by fear. In that moment, he lost all jealousy and frenzy, as if freed from his mania. Retreating wildly, he shrieked in terror. I am an elder of the Great Soul Sect. You cannot kill me. Wang Lin's gaze was icy as he strode forward. With a casual flick of his hand, Lü Wenran's essence spirit exploded, half his body obliterated. I am the disciple of the Azure Ox Patriarch. If you kill me, my master will never let you go. His broken essence spirit, already weak and trembling with dread of death, screamed as it fled backward. But Wang Lin took another step and closed the distance. With another wave of his hand, Lü Wenran's essence spirit roared in agony as half of it disintegrated, leaving only a fragile head barely holding together. My status in the Great Soul Sect is extremely exalted, you. His head retreated, shrieking frantically. Now he was truly afraid. He did not want to die. As a mid-void tribulation stage cultivator, death was rare, but in this instant, he felt death's crisis descend like never before. "Don't kill me." His words had barely left his mouth when Wang Lin, armored in that terrifying black armor, appeared beside the head of Lü Wenran's essence spirit. With ruthless coldness and killing intent, he slammed his palm down. "Farewell." The heavens roared as his palm struck. Lü Wenran's essence spirit head exploded, vanishing into nothingness, suffering physical and spiritual annihilation. This was Wang Lin. He did not care about the identity or background of those who sought his life. He knew only this. If he did not kill Lü Wenran today, once the time of this armor ended and his cultivation returned to normal, Lü Wenran would never spare him. Since the battle was life or death, Wang Lin would never hesitate. Even if this man had been the son of an immortal emperor, he would still kill him. At this moment, Wang Lin clearly felt the power within him. Every movement brimmed with divine might. This sensation was one he had never known before. Origin sources no longer seemed important, for he could feel them dissolved, fused into his very bloodline. His body itself was a vessel condensed of pure origin source. His blood was water essence, his eyes thunder flame origin. His entire being had become origin incarnate. This transformation was the work of the armor. Now, Wang Lin even felt as though he was no longer a cultivator, but an ancient, supreme beast, the heavenly ox, honed in the boundless void beyond the heavens through countless ages. He raised his head, eyes cold, and glared toward the sky above the underground palace, killing intent blazing. "Zhang Daozong, Wang has come." With a blur, Wang Lin merged with the heavenly ox behind him, and this aura, just the briefest touch of it made their hearts pound, as if a colossal heavenly ox had awakened from the depths of the earth, roaring toward the heavens with thunderous steps. It wasn't only the two of them who felt this. The four green demon emissaries standing nearby, faces usually as cold as stone, now wore grim expressions, their eyes fixed on the ground in silence. Those four had been chosen in childhood by the three patriarchs of the Green Devil continent from countless candidates. Each possessed extraordinary talent. When they reached a certain stage in cultivation, they were sent to the Green Demon Scorpion Temple, becoming attendants and emissaries in service of the Green Demon. Across endless millennia, there had been many such emissaries, but through the temple's ruthless trials and endless deaths, only 9 had ever earned the recognition of the Green Demon. These 9 were the true Green Demon emissaries of the entire continent, inheritors of the will of the Green Demon Scorpion soul sealed beneath the land itself. Because of this, here on the extreme heaven grasslands of the Heavenly Bull continent, their perception was far keener than that of Zhang Daozong and the others. The howls and pressure rising from deep underground, to their eyes, could only mean one thing: the eruption of a heavenly bull envoy who had gained the acknowledgement of the Tianyo soul. The ground quaked ever more violently, muffled thunder rolling across heaven and earth. Countless blades of grass collapsed, disintegrating into green powder that was swept up into the air, swirling like a dense mist. Zhang Daozong's heart pounded. He was the first to launch himself skyward, followed swiftly by Elder Zhao. The 4 green demon emissaries, however, did not ascend. With grave expressions, they instead scattered to the 4 corners, sitting cross-legged and forming seals with their hands, letting out low roars in unison. At their cries, dense green mist surged behind each of them, roiling violently before solidifying into 4 enormous scorpions of shimmering jade hue. The scorpions were vicious and feral. As soon as they formed, they let out piercing screeches and lunged downward, rushing toward the earth. In the next instant, the 4 emissaries bit their tongues, spitting blood onto the ground. Pressing both hands firmly to the earth, they closed their eyes. Above each brow, a column of green energy as thick as an arm shot skyward. The 4 streams of energy merged, condensing into a massive green mirror hanging in the heavens. Though illusory, the mirror radiated a sinister demonic flame. The moment Zhang Daozong and Elder Zhao saw it, their eyes lit with frenzied devotion. Within the mirror, as the green energy swept across, a continent emerged. Few mountains, but vast expanses of swamp covering nearly all the land. Even the mortal cities there stood upon that swamp, an eerie and uncanny sight. This continent was slightly smaller than the heavenly ox, perhaps 70% its size, yet the swamp chi spreading from it filled the sky and earth, cloaking the land like a dream shrouded in mist. This was the Green Devil continent. As the emissaries' low roars continued, the giant mirrors slowly sank, enclosing the ground between them and even extending faintly to cover the extreme heaven grasslands, as though suppressing it entirely. Deep underground, Wang Lin, fused completely with the heavenly bull phantom, charged onward. Behind him lay the underground palace. He did not care to play the hero. What he did now was not for the heavenly bull continent, but for the 3 conditions he had been promised. Still, he understood well. His soul armor was forged from the cultivation and blood of over 1,000 cultivators below. With such a burden, he could not simply abandon them. At the very least, he had to ensure their safety before leaving. Now, he would break through the earth to kill 3 old monsters at the mid-void tribulation stage and complete the Azure Ox Patriarch's second command. His armored form howled through the depths, black plates hiding his face save for cold eyes and snow-white hair flowing behind him. His speed surged. Within moments, he was only a few hundred feet from breaking through the surface. But then, his eyes narrowed sharply. He felt 4 auras suddenly erupting around him, familiar, yet steeped in loathing to the very core. They closed in with ferocious speed. He caught fleeting glimpses of 4 massive green scorpions, snarling as they lunged toward him. An instinctive hatred rose within Wang Lin, though he knew it was not his own. It came from the Tianyo soul itself. Clearly, the heavenly ox and these scorpions had known one another countless ages ago, before the immortal progenitor's suppression. Perhaps they had always been mortal enemies. Wang Lin's eyes flashed. He halted abruptly, drawing the heavenly bull phantom into his body until it vanished completely. Now, without the slightest hesitation, Wang Lin lifted his foot. This time, he did not surge upward to break through the earth, but abruptly shifted westward. With one stride, his body moved like a thunderclap, vanishing in an instant amid a booming roar. When he reappeared, a surge of green mist filled the air ahead, and a massive emerald scorpion came charging straight at him with ferocity. Before the scorpion even reached him, its tail lashed forward. A phantom shadow burst forth, the scorpion's tail striking like a whip toward Wang Lin. Cold light flickered in his eyes. He raised both hands, not even sparing the tail a glance, and instead gripped the ground beneath him. Tear the heavens. Drawing upon the cultivation of the early void tribulation stage, he roused the Tao ancient power within his body and fused it into a technique that no longer belonged to Tao ancient arts. With a sudden wrench of his arms, the earth thundered violently. A colossal fissure split open before him, ripping its way straight toward the oncoming scorpion. The roar reverberated endlessly. In a blink, the rift expanded boundlessly, meeting the lashing tail head-on. The scorpion's tail shuddered, then exploded into fragments with a deafening crash. At the same time, the gaping fissure swept forward, cutting clean through the green scorpion's body and tearing upward toward the earth's surface, the roar shaking heaven and earth. The extreme heaven grasslands trembled violently. To the west, the ground suddenly erupted, opening a chasm tens of thousands of miles long. Green mist poured out rapidly, only to disperse in an anguished, ear-splitting scream. Above ground, one of the 4 green demon emissaries seated cross-legged instantly turned pale, coughing up blood. With a single tear the heavens strike, Wang Lin annihilated a green demon scorpion soul. His face twisted with grim ferocity. Deep within the earth, he spun around, only to see 3 more currents of green mist racing toward him from 3 different directions. Within them surged 3 more scorpions of equal size, blazing with feral fury. I wonder, with my current cultivation, if I unleash the spear of 7 colors, could I match the rainbow immortal venerable at his peak, when he could shatter suns? Battle intent flared in Wang Lin's gaze as he faced the 3 incoming scorpions. He stepped forward. The moment his foot fell, the subterranean world shook violently, as though unable to bear his tread. His right hand snapped upward, and with a sudden sweep, he summoned the spear of 7 colors at incredible speed. Though not much faster than before he donned the armor, in truth, It was several times swifter than what ordinary cultivators could ever achieve. A wave of seven-colored brilliance swept across heaven and earth, coalescing before him into a long spear. From the instant it formed, an aura of world-destroying power erupted from it, unstable, threatening to collapse at any moment. Then, shockingly, the seven-colored radiance began to change. Amidst red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet, there was no black. Yet now, the spear transformed, turning utterly black, radiating boundless murderous intent. This was the true spear of seven colors. Only with sufficient cultivation could its full potential be drawn out. This was the first transformation of seven colors. Wang Lin seized the black spear. The moment his hand grasped it, the weapon shuddered. Its dark glow flared, changing again into dazzling white. This was the second transformation of seven colors. Killing intent surged in his eyes. With a fierce swing, he hurled the spear forward. The heavens themselves roared as the white spear shot forth, whistling toward one of the scorpions. Even as it streaked through the air, its color shifted once more, turning gray. The third transformation of seven colors. This was the most powerful variation of this divine art, the very technique the Rainbow Immortal Venerable had wielded at his peak. The gray spear, wreathed in swirling mist, tore through the air and closed upon its target. The scorpion shrieked hideously, spewing a torrent of green mist to meet the spear head-on. The clash detonated with earth-shaking force. The subterranean world convulsed violently, and from the impact surged a storm that burst upward through the surface. The extreme heaven grasslands above collapsed across thousands of miles. Earth and weeds blasted skyward by the overwhelming shockwave. Pity, this soul armor only elevates my cultivation, but not in accordance with my own body. It molds me instead into a likeness of the heavenly ox. If I had truly reached the early void tribulation stage, with all 9 origins perfected and 9 primordial origin avatars formed, then with that one spear strike, 9 spears would have manifested together. In that instant, I would have had confidence in annihilating all 3 scorpions at once. Wang Lin shook his head inwardly. The soul armor was powerful, but ultimately, it was not truly his own strength. 2 scorpions remain. Perfect. I'll use them to test my other divine arts, to measure their ultimate might, and decide whether they are worth mastering.